and welcome to Culture here on I-24 News. I'm Oded Grober. Thank you for joining me. Today on our program, we'll focus on dance and stage from the Diver Dance Festival in Tel Aviv. We'll talk to choreographer and dancer David Wampach about his work. We'll also see the portrait of choreographer Raymond Hogue. And lastly, we'll hear about the phenomena that is immersive theater. Sacre is a dance piece by choreographer and dancer David Wampach, inspired by the classic Rite of Spring. It will be performed at the Diver Festival for Contemporary Dance in Tel Aviv on September 10th. And I'm very happy to have David here in the studio, to talk about his work. Thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
So tell me a little bit about Sacre. What do you deal with there? What's the piece about?
So it's a piece we created in 2011 with Tamar Shelef. She's based in Tel Aviv, but we create in France. In my work, I do my work since, I don't know, 12 years, and I'm very inspired by all the question of rituals and the state of trance. I like when we try to find a different way of approaching stage and physicality. And so I knew that this Rite of Spring, it's a piece that a lot of choreographers are trying to approach. We count about more than 200 versions of the Rite of Spring.
Yeah.
It was also the 100th century, I don't know.
Yeah, that brought on a lot of different interpretations.
Yeah, exactly. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I felt it was normal for me to try to see how I can deal with this reference.
So from the beginning, you approached this piece as a homage for the Rite of Spring?
No,
or is it an interpretation? What is
exactly, yeah, it's more an interpretation, and again, it's really because it was connecting to my own work, I would say. It's like, it's not because I wanted to do it, to be one after all the other, like Raymond Hogue, like you were mentioning, also made a version of the Rite of Spring. No, it was kind of natural. I was even scared of doing it, and it's for me always a kind of nice way to start, to feel a kind of fear. But yeah, it was very natural. And the thing is, I didn't want to use the Stravinsky music, even though I love it. It's very strong and very amazing music. But I wanted to make a version without the music.
All right. Now, there's some biblical elements thrown in as well. There's a little bit of Adam and Eve thing. No?
No, I don't think. Actually, at the right beginning, Tamar Shelef was supposed to be alone.
Yeah.
And because we were working, I mean, she couldn't. We were working together, so it was like she was doing, we were like a ping pong. She was doing, and I was watching, and then I was doing, she was watching, and at the end, it became a duet. But it was not supposed to be like this.
An apple. I mean, you can't take a bite out of an apple without, bringing to mind the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, no, yeah, I wouldn't say that.
You disagree. Yeah. All right. Let's talk a little bit about their costumes. They're revealing as much as they're hiding. I mean, they are wearing something. It is pretty sheer. Are you trying to get a reaction out of the audience? Put them face to face with some. The
thing is, I work with a costume designer since the beginning, since more than 12 years. Rachel Garcia, she's a French costume designer and set designer, and we always think about what it is to dress a body or undress, and what it is to be naked or dressed. And in this piece specifically, I was very interested about this middle age reference or period of time. Maybe because the Rite of Spring speak about also the Russian antiquity, and also thinking that the piece was created 100 years ago. I was a bit lost in the time, so I choose the Middle Age. Yeah. And so that's why we also choose this kind of hat.
Like a helmet style thing. Yeah. Right. It's nice. And I watched some pieces from the show, and it's not really a traditional beautiful or it doesn't put the viewer at ease, The aesthetics that you go for are a little on the edge, let's say. Are trying to challenge viewers a little bit?
I'm trying to challenge myself. And then let's see how people can. I cannot deal and control with all the reaction of so different people that come every time. We perform about in between 45 and 50 times in very, very different countries, in the US, in Europe, first time in Israel. So yeah, it's always different reaction. It's very different. Like in New York, they were laughing all the time. Stockholm also, but in Portugal, they didn't. Yeah, it really depends.
It's interesting. Yeah. What do you learn about different audiences when you take the show on to different countries?
I don't know. I'm also trying not to make a kind of general point of view, because it's also like it's performing arts, it's live art, so depending on also which day.
Every evening is a little bit different.
Yeah, exactly. Even for us, I don't know how we will be here in Tel Aviv, like in which condition we will be.
It would be interesting to see the reactions here. We'll have to wait for the show to talk about that. Now, in your past work, there's also a show that you made called Cassette that also dealt with the Nutcracker. At the time, that was the dialogue there. I'm curious if working within putting these limitations in a way, is it actually helpful for the creative process? Because if you have something that you work within certain boundaries. Or you can't go anywhere, Is that how you feel?
It's very interesting what you said, because I'm a lot interested about the question of the limits and the boundaries and how we can deal with it goes with politics and also authority and how we play with it. And it's with what you said, I did Cassette 6 months before Sacre. It was really in the same year, and it's totally different. It's a group piece. It's based on Nutcrackers, as you said. It's a lot of ballroom dance. So this question of the ballroom competition that they have a lot in Germany or England. So it was very different topic and approach, but still, as you said, taking a reference, historical reference. I didn't do that. The
result is very different, but maybe the process was similar.
Exactly, not so far. Yeah. But it was the first time with Cassette that I was using a historical reference. Yeah. I was doing maybe 6 or 7 pieces before, and I was totally free. And because I have a theater background, maybe I had the need of having a kind of a more clear reference.
Yeah. Your personal story is quite unusual too, the way you ended up in the profession that you ended up in. Am I right?
You mean because I started with medicine?
Most dancers did not start off studying to be doctors.
Yeah, I mean, my parents wanted me for being a doctor more than me. But I also...
And it took you a while to shake that off.
Yeah, but I learned a lot. It was really interesting to learn about the anatomy and physiology, and I really learned, and it's still useful.
Well, now we all get to enjoy the results of that, so that's great. David, thanks so much for coming in, and best of luck with the show.
Thank you very much.
Still with dance, talking now about Raymond Hogue, considered one of the most influential figures in contemporary dance. Hogue also performed last week at the Diver Festival. For his debut in Tel Aviv, Hogue presented L'Après-Midi, a notoriously minimalist dance work. Lea Bouchoucha and Nasib Safadi were there, brought back this story.
With extreme sense of posture, unique presence, and movements inspired by ancient Greece, with the stability of a firm concrete statue, Raymond Hogue, alongside his longtime partner Emmanuel Egermont, delighted the local audience at Tel Aviv's Diver Festival.
Here with Raymond, we really try to get to the point, that is to say, to avoid the movements that would not be needed and avoid any form of apparent technicality.
And it is on this rectangular stage of the Susan Dalal Center, a theater in the heart of Neve Tzedek, that the conductor appears with his partner for the first time in Israel, inspired by The Afternoon of a Faun, choreographed by Václav Nijinsky from 1912, following the traditional repertoire with music by Claude Debussy.
I think he represents a certain style of dance that is really unknown in Israel. I think he kind of enters beauty in a way that we don't know here.
The body of Emmanuel Egermont, driven by minimal movements, intrigued the viewer into a world powered by the silent ritual, inviting the spectator to get involved in this strange game. The viewer is quickly mesmerized by the ballet choreography despite the abstract elements. such as the milk that Raymond Hogue spills on the ground.
I think Raymond Hogue is an artist of music, but at the same time he's an artist of silence and of concentration. And I think in Israel we are so used to noise, and even the dance here everything is so energetic, and I think it's almost healing, but maybe also disturbing to bring somebody like this, because maybe Israel cannot manufacture an artist like this.
The virtuoso has been hunchback since childhood, a difference from other dancers which he embraces to set a complete different standard of dance.
Fight for diversity and difference. For me, I come from Germany. I was born after the war, but I live with a German history. And there were also disabled people dying, killed by the Nazis. There were many different groups killed. And for me, I'm very aware of this. I don't want that people are excluded somewhere, whatever their which religion or body or color of skin. And this is for me very important. So, and I'm one example. I don't know if I would have survived the Third Reich.
After working as a journalist and a playwright for famous German choreographer Pina Bausch, he devoted himself fully to the spectators, charming them with his elegant and hypnotic poetic movement.
I was curious about this performance. I didn't know him so much before, but I saw some YouTubes, small ones. It brings a different body to the contemporary dance.
Devoting themselves fully to the spectators, charming them with elegant and hypnotic poetic movement, the male duo has triumphed.
In a moment, we'll discuss immersive theater, but first, here's our cultural recommendation for today.
Her projects are known for incorporating multiple fragments that are themselves comprised of numerous forms. Born in Cairo in 1979, Imanisa is an artist whose multimedia works explore the relationship between history, memory, language, and objects. Her installation, known as Heritage Studies, allowed Isa to investigate historical works of art through poetic, written descriptions, and varied forms. Her objects may be modest or relatively simple, but beautifully crafted. Her short videos, photographs, and side texts use language and association to create uncertain but resonant scenes.
And now the very dramatic Lauren Iso is already in the studio. Hi, Lauren.
Hello. I try not to be too dramatic, but maybe I'll try to be extra dramatic today.
What are we talking about? Immersive theater.
Yes, exactly. Immersive theater.
What is that?
So basically, it's sort of a new phenomena within theater. The concept is that the audience is super involved in the actual production of the play, meaning they, depending on what show it is, they follow the actors or they're really inside of the production.
All right. Are they in costume?
They could be.
That's nice.
That would be an interesting idea.
I would like that.
So, one of my favorite movies, The Goonies.
Yeah.
From 1985, the story of a group of young boys go on an adventure, find some gold. I'm sure you know it very well.
Oh, of course I know it. I'm just surprised that you know it because I think you're probably too young to know it.
It was a little before my time, but I'm still a huge fan.
Okay, The Goonies.
So the director announced in an interview that they are turning The Goonies into an immersive play that will be off-Broadway.
Wow, that sounds interesting. There were talks about a Goonies sequel.
Right.
I know about that.
So that was never finalized.
Yeah.
But apparently this is definitely in the works.
Oh, Data. I love Data.
He's the best.
He's
all
the
those little
best.
gadgets.
Yeah.
So they say it's going to be ready in about a year from now. It's going to be off-Broadway, like I said. And basically the idea is that the audience is going to be in a warehouse that will have no seats.
Okay.
And the cast, which they are working on now, will basically be running around the warehouse on their adventure, and the audience will not have to sit in one place, not be stationary, and get to follow them around and really experience everything
and
on
get
their
on
adventure.
The pirate ship and
I hope so. If so, I'm definitely buying a plane ticket to New York.
Sign me up, no question about it.
Definitely.
All right, so one that we have to go to. What else?
Yes, another quite famous movie, Carrie.
Oh yeah.
cult classic. The story of a young girl.
Not such a feel-good movie as The Goonies.
Not so good. A little sad for her. A little scary for everyone who watches it. So there's something called Carrie the Musical, which is not so new.
It's already kind of strange, but keep going.
Very strange. So even stranger, taking that one step further, they're turning Carrie the Musical into an immersive play as well. So the idea for this, which is already in the works, they're casting it now, is that
everybody goes home covered in blood.
I hope not. No, but the audience is going to be, it's going to be in a school, and the audience is going to be able to go from class to class and actually watch the scenes take place within the classes that they take place in the film or in the play or whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Goonies one. I don't want to go back to school, but you can do whatever you want.
Alrighty.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Lauren. That's it from us for today. I hope you enjoyed watching our show. We'll be back tomorrow with another one, so please join us again.